the Miami Heat was on the rise.
Here's Rice, a jumper. He made it. Miami wins the game.
You could begin to see, starting really in the second year, the development of a team.
It was a young group of players growing together, devoted to its fans and its city, even through a natural disaster.
It looked like someone dropped a bomb on the Homestead area.
Try to rebuild the city and do whatever we could.
Experience the Heat's first taste of success.
The lob, backhand.
The Miami Heat, at that point, was here to stay.
It was the end of an era as the Heat reached its peak.
It was just like you're losing your family.
And at our darkest hour came the biggest thing that ever happened to the Miami Heat.
When Mickey took over the franchise, that's when the franchise was going to now take off.
Welcome to Inside the Heat and the second edition of the Miami Heat's 20th anniversary show. I'm Eric Reed. The 1989 NBA draft was the next chance for the Heat to improve and add more young talent to the team. After finishing their first season with only 15 wins, Miami owned the fourth pick, which to this day remains the best draft position in franchise history. It was clearly a pick they needed to capitalize on. For a team being built with young players, this was a crucial choice in that building process.
The Miami Heat selects Glena Raice from the University of Michigan.
I really kind of favored Miami. I didn't really tell no one, but I really enjoyed the time I had down there.
At that time, it was one of the best feelings ever. That's one of the things that you work so hard to a point to get to.
That might have been the most significant draft in Heat history because we were last in the league in year one in scoring. And by luck of the draft, with the fourth pick, we took Glena Raice coming off the national championship at Michigan.
And with their second pick in that draft, they chose Shermana Duglasa, another well-known college player. He had a terrific career as the point guard at Syracuse. He was Ronnie Cycli's point guard when they were in college together.
He would go inside, in between the tree trunks, so to speak, in the redwood forest, and come up with amazing lollipop shots.
By the Heat's second NBA season in 1989-90, they had gathered a young, talented nucleus consisting of Ronnie Cycli, Glena Raice, Shermana Duglasa, Kevin Edwards, and Grant Long. Douglas replaced Rory Sparrow in the starting lineup.
Drives to the center lane, puts it off the top. Good at the goal! Shermana Duglasa.
Miami's young talent were a group that brought excitement to the arena, and they would grow as players and people together.
There's 1 second. Here's Rice, a jumper. He made it. He made it. He made it. Miami wins the game.
So as every year you're kind of watching the initial group grow and then add to the talent base. And then you could begin to see, starting really in the second year, the development of a team.
In February of 1990, Miami was the place to be as the Miami Heat hosted the All-Star Game. John Sunvold participated in the three-point shooting contest, while Billy Thompson entertained us in the slam dunk contest.
1-2, we got them both.
While it was just the beginning for the growing young core of the Heat, Miami's second season was the final NBA campaign for veterans like Rory Sparrow and Pat Cummings. But this wasn't about endings. The young Heat was just beginning to rise. One player who rose more than any other was Ronnie Cycli.
And the spin doctor lays it in.
In between the first and second year, he worked very hard with the coaching staff on his footwork, his skill work, and the second year he came back and was the most improved player in the NBA.
It's a great honor because I worked so hard during that off season after the first year to come back and be the best I could possibly be.
The Heat ended their second season with 18 victories, a modest 3-game improvement from the year before. As year 3 began, the 1990-91 team added a few more young players to the mix. Forwards Willie Burton and Alec Kessler were selected in the first round of the 1990 NBA draft. Guard Bimbo Coles was acquired from Sacramento in a draft night deal for Rory Sparrow. And forward Keith Askins, undrafted out of Alabama, was signed as a free agent.
Keith Askins' intangibles, what he showed as a college player, showed in the NBA. All Keith was about winning.
Baskets. Hustle with a capital H.
I will never forget the night as a rookie. We had a game at home, and we took a beating. And I was really angry at the team when we went in the locker room after the game. Does anybody in here want to stand up now and say something to their teammates? And all of a sudden, I see this hand go up, and it was Keith. And he stood up, and he went after his teammates. I just sat back, put my feet up, and said, okay, my rookie just did my job for me.
It's not an individual sport. It's a team sport. And for me to do well, I got to have everyone else doing well. You know, if I don't make it, if you're not making it, so I got to have help. And if someone's not helping me make it, I'm going to let them know about it.
Season 3 ended with more good times than wins. Miami finished the 90-91 season with a 24-58 record, 6 more wins than the year before. The young core gave Heat fans hope that the future would be brighter.
NBA basketball was in South Florida, and at least you saw a progression.
Frankly, people didn't gauge us at that time or for those first 3 years really on how many games we won. They based us on how nice we were to them, we being the team, and how hard the team played.
Inside the Heat is brought to you by your South Florida Mercedes-Benz dealers. Love what you drive.